Greetings. I'm reporting from the entertainment guy set, so as you can see, whole ton of Funkos and Funko fun and stuff. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has been in the news, and again, it illustrates something that I've talked about before. So James Charles comes out, and I don't even understand. I don't get it. So it's 16.5 million subscribers, and now it comes out that he's egotistical. Basically, from what I've seen, yeah, there's some stories that have come out, and people have said some things about how he makes people uncomfortable. It sounds to me like he treats men the way a lot of men treat women. How many times have I been out with guys and they're checking some girl out, and I go, well, she's gay, and they're like, I can change her. Yeah, she hasn't had a shot at me yet. And I'm thinking, dude, you might be part of the reason why she's gay. So, hearing that, he meets straight men and sees it as a challenge, and yeah, okay, so he's still a guy, and that's that. And then there's this whole thing about selling things to his underage audience that may or may not be decent or appropriate. There's a lot of people on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube who take money to push things that they shouldn't, and I've talked about that before too, where I get emails from websites that are trying to get me to endorse pay to play games. So it's free to download, but if you actually want to do anything in it, it's going to cost you some money. Or I get emails from websites that sell counterfeit goods. I get emails from websites looking to partner with me. The partnering involves basically me giving them half my money, and they give me some nifty little stuff to help me with video editing or getting rights to music, but not worth it to me. And it's weird because I look at what's going on and I say, you know what? Here's a 19-year-old kid that had 16.5 million subscribers. Of course, that's going to go to your head. He complained not too long ago about privacy and his home, and he was the one, I'm pretty sure he was the one who had problems with people coming to his house, and then there were people saying, well, you're a celebrity, you should be used to it. So there's people telling him, you're a celebrity, and he's 19. And judging from the amount of traffic that his channel gets and the amount of subscribers he has, he's raking in some serious cash. So the idea that he kind of views the world through a lens as I'm a celebrity, therefore I have certain rights, that's completely rational. There's a lot of YouTubers that are younger, and they view this as their their pulpit and their way of getting quite wealthy, and as a result of that wealth and that fame, everywhere you go publicly, people are like, "Oh, aren't you so and so? Oh, wow, that's amazing." Oh, can I get an autograph? Can I? And I get that from people when it comes to hockey. Like, can I get an autograph? Of what? When somebody says, "Well, can you sign my jersey?" It's like, why would I sign a jersey? I didn't play for that team. I don't know. That's a nice jersey. Why would you want me to put a like get a Sharpie and put like it doesn't compute to me. But as I've mentioned before, that's part of what goes with the idea that I'm an older YouTuber. I am much older than these people. And I think a lot of it has to do with your perception of the world and having perspective on what you have. So, James Charles takes a hit. He loses 3.5 million subscribers. I'm cynical. That'll surprise people. I'm cynical. I look at his numbers on his channel over the last 4 or 5 days since this whole thing fell apart. He's raking in so much money right now. He is according to Social Blade, he could have made $90,000 the day this whole thing fell apart. If he monetized his video and did it properly, he could have made almost $100,000 American in a day. So I'm torn. I'm like, okay, so he's lost 3.5 million subscribers, which sucks. It's balanced out. I've been watching the numbers, and his numbers, it seems like they've bottomed out, and he's coming back up, and he will. He'll make up that difference and more. But he's made so much money on this whole feud over I don't understand. There are certainly YouTubers who've done unscrupulous things that have come to light, and of course they will. We set up a webcam, we set up our phone, like I'm talking to people through my phone right now, and we're celebrities. And there's no vetting process. There's no vetting process with Hollywood either. That's why Hollywood stars aren't really people that you should look at and say that's a hero. You can look at some of the fundraising they do, some of the charity work they do. Sometimes when they're fighting for a good cause, you can look and go, that's heroic. But you really shouldn't have them up on this big pedestal. And people often do. And now YouTubers are thrown into that as well. And I would argue that with YouTubers, it's even more I don't want to say dangerous. Dangerous is the wrong term, but with Hollywood actors and actresses, for the most part, you have to go through that suffering process. You have to go through all of your auditions. You have to spend years, in a lot of cases, waiting for that breakthrough. Sometimes with YouTube, you just post a video and, oh, look, it went viral. And I'm famous. And so it is a slippery slope. We're in an age now where anybody can be famous, and you can get famous at a very young age. So when I see YouTubers doing stupid crap, the first thing I do is say, how old are they? And if they're 20 and under, I go, yeah, that's about right. If I had been doing videos on hockey when I was 19 or 20 years of age, first off, the swearing would have been off the charts. It would have been absolutely off the charts. Secondly, the sarcasm, the amount of salt you would have heard from a Canuck fan from when I was in high school would have been absolutely overpowering. My venom towards the teams that were big at the time would have been huge. And I might have gained a subscriber base through that. I might have garnered a lot of attention. I also would have a lot of people saying, wow, he's loud and he's obnoxious, and he's talking crap about this team and that team, and he cheers for the Canucks. Oh wow, what an and I get some of that as it is on some level. So I try to put myself in their shoes, and I try to say, if I'd had millions of subscribers as a teenager, how would it have affected me? If everywhere I went, I had people saying, hey, aren't you? Just this past week, my wife's out at a store locally, and somebody says, aren't you the hockey guy's wife? My mother's had it where it's, somebody sees her name and they go, oh, are you Shannon's mom? And then, oh, that's the hockey guy. Or she'll be talking about my videos and somebody will go, oh, I know who he is. Oh, you're his mom. That's awesome. So again, if I'm experiencing that, and I have 6,000 subscribers on this channel and I have about 90,000 on my hockey channel, I can only imagine at millions just how difficult it would make things too. Like you can't have a normal life then. You can't really do the everyday stuff, going to the store, going to a regular restaurant, just hanging out and just that kind of thing. You're going to get hassled, and at some point it's going to get pretty obnoxious. I don't know. All I know is that this kid has lost 3.5 million subscribers, because as far as I can tell, he made some people uncomfortable. Is he obnoxious? Absolutely. Do I subscribe to him? No. Am I going to? No. But should people be really that surprised? Seriously. Like, I hear that too. Like, oh, so-and-so, he's a real jerk and he's really egotistical. How many subscribers does he have? 800 million? Okay, well, there you go. That might be why he's a little bit of an egotistical guy. Because he's got 800 million people saying, hey, you're pretty cool. It went to Toby's head. Tobuscus. Which was like the biggest channel on YouTube at one point, and I watched all of his videos, and I went to his head. And I'm convinced that's part of what it was. It went to his head. He had women throwing themselves at him, and he was making money hand over fist, and he made a lot of mistakes. He seems to have learned from them. He seems to be genuinely contrite about the things that happened, and sorry for things that happened. And this is kind of what happens. But Toby, he was young too when his channel was going crazy, because YouTube is geared towards the young viewer, and yet the companies that try to take advantage of that, whether it's your vitamin supplements, your gambling sites, your there is an ugly underbelly with YouTube. And what I'll say in closing is, like I said, this kid will bounce back. He'll get back to 16 million subscribers. I have no doubt. Or he'll come up with some other venture where he'll get a bunch of subscribers as well. I've seen some pretty horrible, spiteful people on YouTube make it with millions of subscribers, even though they're complete pricks. So, yeah, this kid just seems to have been kind of obnoxious, got knocked back and knocked down a level. He'll learn from it, but it's bizarre. The whole YouTuber thing is very bizarre, and like I said, if I experience these things at 90,000 subscribers on my main channel, I cannot imagine at millions what it turns into. It's a fun ride. It is amazing being able to make videos and be able to make a living and connect with people and build a community, and that community is fantastic. This Saturday, I'm having a meetup locally, in Coquitlam with a bunch of subscribers. And by a bunch, I mean probably maybe a dozen or 2 dozen. And it's going to be fun. We're going to play street hockey and just enjoy ourselves for a few hours. And these are guys that I was playing with last year too, and I enjoy it. That is a fantastic benefit that's come out of this. But there are negatives. There are definite negatives. And I would imagine that as the channel's growth continues, that I'll see more benefits and more negatives. So there you go. Just my take on it. And it again comes back to, and when you hear these things happen, just remember. One more thing I wanted to say too. I heard this and I went, nah. If it's possible that a teenager comes out as gay and bullies the straight kids, high school's changed a lot since I was in school, and I have some serious, serious doubts. When I was in school, if it was suspected that a kid was gay, and it might be something small, it might be the way a guy smiles, wears pink a lot, and gay, they would get picked on. That was the way it worked. I'm not proud of it. It was not a scenario that was good for for us, or for other kids who were probably trying to come to terms with whether they were straight and gay and seeing us picking on somebody. And by us, I mean it was en masse. That was the easy one. The easy one to pick on would be, well, he's the one that would get picked on because he seemed gay. I remember there was one kid that I was good friends with in elementary school, and eventually we had a falling out that had nothing to do with his orientation. But due to his orientation, he was getting picked on, and his own dad actually said to a friend of mine at one point, said, well, yeah, I understand why he gets picked on. I don't blame you guys, but just, leave him alone. So there was yeah, I know my son's different and he's a little gay, and I get why you guys are picking on him, but can you just go? And it wasn't, there was no social outrage at the time. That was just sort of accepted. And it's not right. So the idea that this kid now is being accused of this stuff, I look at it, and just on the surface of it, I go, not that things can't happen, but that doesn't add up. And that's just from my experience with high schools and with the way that cliques work. It is, something doesn't add up. So that's just me, just my opinion, just throwing that out there. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.